fly side. Is there the high drive? Deep center. Go, go, go. We're out of here. We're out of here. Say ya, playa.
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A dog pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy Tuesday and welcome to the 910 gym here at Washington Township. We've got a Tri-County Royal matchup tonight between GCIT and Washington Township. My buddy Jake Clark is going to be on the play-by-play. I will be providing some commentary notes on the other end, but two good teams coming into today, especially GCIT, who is off to probably the hottest start that they've had in 5+ years.
Yeah, Dan, they're coming in with a 5-2 record. I believe winners of their last 3. They've been playing good basketball around the turn of the new 2025 year. So for sure, definitely a team to look out for, especially in some South Jersey sports. GCIT is definitely on the up-and-coming list.
Absolutely. I mean, they haven't had an above 500 season in boys basketball since 2019 to 2020 when they went 16-11. And they had some seasons where they didn't crack the double-digit win mark. But after going 13-14 2 years ago, they hung around that same mark this year in a very competitive Tri-County Royal division with guys like Washington Township and Kingsway, of course. You know, this is a 5-team division that also includes Clearview and Williamstown. Now, they didn't have the best record last year, but GCIT kind of hangs around the middle there. And hopefully, with a 5-2 start this year, with that division play ramping up, should be a good battle test for them this afternoon.
Well, and then when you mentioned Washington Township, the team they're set to face off with today, they're not having the most ideal start, coming in at 2-4, and they're losers of 4 of their last 5, so hoping to turn it around today against GCIT.
Well, we saw them just before the new year versus Kingsway, and that was a game where they didn't even score in the second quarter. They scored 11 in the first, but it took them until halfway through the third quarter to get points on the board. Now, they came back, and Washington Township can be a very streaky team. They can go ice cold for a couple minutes, and then they can get red hot, especially from beyond the arc. So we're going to introduce starting lineups in just a moment, but Jake, any closing notes before we turn the cameras around?
Now I'm just excited for a great game here today.
Should be a good one. GCIT and Washington Township introducing their starters. We'll be back in just a moment as it's the Cheetahs of GCIT, undefeated on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, by the way, with a record of 4-0, and Washington Township, the home team here tonight. I'm Dan Wilkins with Jake Clark. He'll be taking the lead. I'll be taking the back seat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Suarez has it, a wide open baseline. He lays that one in with ease. So Milan Suarez, the freshman for the Cheetahs, getting off to a good start. Pagano finds Rodea. Rodea pass in the corner for Conrad. Conrad from beyond the arc, too strong. Rebound, GCIT. It's Morris with it, slowing up the pace. Morris looking. Now outside, now back to Morris. Malgapo with it on the right wing. There's a screen rolling inside, out to the corner. Good ball movement here by the Cheetahs. Morris, baseline, drives inside, kicks out, shot is up from outside, and good. Nothing but net there for Carl Schmid. And now 7-2. GCIT leads over the Minutemen.
I really like how GCIT operated on that play. That one's off the mark. I really liked how GCIT was able to pass anywhere and keep Washington on their toes, leading to what was a very good play in the end result.
Now the Cheetahs back with it. Malgapo outside, finds Schmidt. Thought about a 3, now gets it back to Malgapo. Driving baseline, kick out. Suarez is there, heaves up a 3. No good. Pagano working the fast break. Now the Minutemen will slow things up. Washington Township working with it. Here's Conrad inside. Shot doesn't go, but some contact. And Javon Conrad will go to the line to shoot 2.
And that was, again, a good play by Washington Township there to draw the foul. You know, they're down by 5 here in the early going, and it's going to be important that Washington Township is able to convert on these possessions, because they can't just sit around and wait for GCIT to make a mistake. They have to be proactive on offense as well. And, you know, we were talking about earlier the Kingsway game from December 20th where Washington Township scored 11 points in the first quarter and then went scoreless in the entire second quarter. I mean, that's hard to do. I mean, I say that in the nicest way possible. It's hard to go 8 minutes without scoring. And if a defense is that good that can really lock you up, then that's going to be a lot of problems. And, you know, they want to get off to the right foot, at least for Washington Township, to start tonight.
So Conrad to shoot the second. That one is good. Javon Conrad now on the board for the Minutemen. Washington Township changing up their defense, looking for a press, and we've got whistles and a foul on the floor. Malgapo hit the deck a little hard. They get the foul on Keegan Smith, the senior guard for the Minutemen. So here's Ethan Morris orchestrating the offense. Now Schmidt outside. Schmidt from way downtown. That one doesn't go. Offensive rebound there by Suarez, and he converts. The 6'5" freshman using all of his frame there to convert down on the low block.
And I like how GCIT has these younger guys of great size, because that will convert into really solid ball players as they get into their junior and senior years. Charlie Donaldson being one of them. And as well, Jake, as you were talking about number 22 on that as well, you know, what's going to be important for GCIT as they go into their 2025 and 2026 seasons is to develop those guys and make sure that they have an active game plan for developing them into the great ball players that they should be.
Now working with some pace as Schmidt doesn't go. Whistles. We've got a jump ball. So possession will be going with Washington Township. Been a defensive game to this point, only 9-3 with just under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter of play. So here's Pagano. Now pass over to Rodet in the corner. Finding Conrad up top. Conrad fires a 3, doesn't go. And that one, we'll say it was last touched by Washington Township. Pietro Forcerio checking in. The senior only played 4 games this year for Washington Township. Averages a respectable 10.3 points per game for the Minutemen. He's coming off the bench here today. Now Gapo with it, being guarded tightly by Conrad. Now here's Morris. That pass was deflected. Now bodies go flying. Pagano went into the scorer's table.
I was going to say, WWE was last night, not today.
Nevertheless, after all the bodies go flying, GCIT will retain possession. So Morris with it, finds Schmidt. That one tipped away, ends up in the hands of Conrad. Conrad can't get the layup to go. Offensive rebound there, and the shot doesn't go for Fornicero, but he'll go to the line with a couple chances here to try and have the Minutemen cut into this deficit.
Yeah, it's going to be important. I mean, look, 3 points is not something that is not a score that you want to be proud of with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And like I said, it's still very early, but, you know, Washington Township, maybe they can benefit from these fouls. There's only been 3 fouls in the first quarter, but guess what? 2 of them have sent the Minutemen to the line. So if they can continue to draw GCIT into bad situations, then that's going to be a good sign for Coach Powers and his crew.
We have official going to the scorer's table. Fornicero at the line. Shooting a very efficient 1-for-1 at the line this season.
Can't get much more efficient than that, Jake.
Knocks him down to 50%. He's 1 for 2 on the year now as Fornacero misses the first. Dan, we've seen a couple missed free throws early in this game, something to just keep an eye on if you're watching for Washington Township.
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be something where it's free points. They call it a free throw for a reason. Can't afford to miss a whole bunch of those. He does make that one there, but, you know, if you're a team that's looking to compete, you just can't afford to miss all of your free throws. Like I said, free points.
So now as a team, they're shooting 2 for 4 from the line. Is Suarez in the corner. One too many steps before he dribbles, and there's a travel on the freshman, Milan Suarez.
And there's Charlie Donaldson, as we were talking about. He's checking in here late in the fourth quarter, number 33. He's definitely a guy that a lot of people want to watch for. You know, he actually had more starting time last year than he did this year, and he moved up a grade. So I think he'll be somebody that we should watch tonight.
Pass too high there from Conrad. Goes off the hands of McRae. So GCIT will get it back yet again. Still a low-scoring affair, 9-4. If you're just tuning in, I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Wilkins here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. So Morris going to slow things down. Finds Malgapo. Malgapo had an open look, hesitated. Washington Township holding their own defensively on this possession. Malgapo looking for some help. Gets a screen there from Donaldson.
Really good screen there.
With a step back cross, shot front iron. Now the Minutemen running the break in the corner. Shot is up, does not go. And that one last touch by McRae. So GCIT will have it.
I really like that last screen by Donaldson there. He set up a good situation for the Cheetahs, just wasn't able to get a good shot off.
We're seeing what feels like two different styles of basketball, with GCIT trying to play slow and Washington Township trying to pick up the pace. Still early in this game, 1:30 and some change remaining in the first quarter. Here's Schmidt outside. That one taken away by Conrad. Conrad with a pass inside, whistles, foul, no basket. The foul is on the floor. They've got a travel there on Petro Fornacero.
And McNeil Rice is going to call a timeout.
So we've got a timeout on the floor with the score 9-4 in favor of GCIT. We'll be right back after this.
Two minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. One more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving three, good! It's a one-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in! St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3.
Hello everybody, welcome back. 9-4, Cheetahs lead over the Washington Township Minutemen. Donaldson has it inside after it was tipped, now taken away by Pagano. Washington Township on the move. Pagano thought about a 3, shot up, and does not go there for Fornacero. So Morris slowing things down, now driving inside, kick over the corner. And that shot was well short there on the low block from Monaghan. Shot up right at the top of the key, does not go. And now just under a minute remains in this first quarter.
9 for GCIT, and like you said, Jake, playing 2 different styles of basketball, one slow, one fast, and right now it seems like one is playing better than the other.
Schmidt shot doesn't go. Pagano slowing things down. Fornacero driving inside. Kick out to the corner is Conrad. Conrad's 3 doesn't fall. So now 10 seconds remaining. Spinning in the lane, whistles, We've got a charge. Charge there was called on Ian Malgapo. So now Washington Township with a chance to potentially beat the buzzer. Conrad finds Pagano. Fornicero with a three, just short at the buzzer. And so 9-4 is all that we'll have at the end of the first quarter. A very defensive-minded game. And we'll be right back for second quarter action after this.
Doubleheader reached first on an error in the first at bat of game 2. This one's lined into center field. Slider going over. He dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Ryan Slider makes the catch. Not on a slide, but instead on a dive. 2 away.
So we're back here at Washington Township High School. I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Wilkins. And Dan, one thing we didn't really get to mention during the open and throughout that first quarter was GCIT's leading scorer, Michael Stanwood, coming into this game averaging 15.6 points per game and had 18 in their game against Williamstown. That was the last game they played. No playing time. It looks like he's out today. Rumor has it due to an injury.
Yeah, he was a game-time decision. Stanwood was a game-time decision, and we were talking with McNeil Rice before the show and the GCIT staff, and you know he's a very efficient scorer. Oh my goodness!
So a miscue there, but the layup can't be converted by Sansbury. Shot up there, he hits front iron, whistles and a jump ball.
That was a very weird sequence of events, if I had to say so. It just looks like a very simple miscommunication there by GCIT, and even then Washington Township struggled to deliver in the moment.
And Coach Todd Powers thought there was a bit of contact on Jasir Sansbury, but no foul. And now Sansbury with it, driving inside, dumps that one off. Now back out to Sansbury in the corner. McRae back to Sansbury. Fornicero thought about it. Now Pagano from the corner. Rolls in, and a nice hometown roll there for Justin Pagano. Making a play there on defense, but it'll stay with GCIT. So now the Cheetahs looking to try and beat this press. Monaghan with the shot, and it is good.
Feels like that three-point shot really changed the momentum for Washington Township. They had only scored 4 points in the first quarter. Now they start off the second with a rattling 3. They almost got that one there as well. But if these guys can keep the scoring up, they're not that far removed from being right back in this game. It's only a 4-point deficit. Because for as much as Washington Township struggled to score, GCIT wasn't that far behind them. They only put up 9 points. 9 out of 10 times you put up 9 points in a quarter, you're not the winning team. But in this case, GCIT was, and this has been a low-scoring affair so far.
Definitely a defensive game with both teams being held to single digits through one quarter. If you're a fan at home, definitely hoping for a little bit more offense. First free throw is no good there for Washington Township. So Gavin Shanline just checked in for GCIT, really embracing the cheetah with his haircut.
I was going to mention something about that.
And so now a three-point game, and Washington Township seems to have a little bit more life in this second quarter offensively. That one almost taken away by Conrad. They're amping up the pressure defensively with that full court press. That layup no good, whistles, but it will stay with GCIT. It'll be Ethan Morris to inbound. Find Schmidt. Malgapo with it. Back over to Schmidt. Thought about popping a three. Decides otherwise. Here's Morris outside. Finds Shanline. Now back to Schmidt. Schmidt looking around. Finds Morris. The Cheetahs are spreading the ball around on this possession. Now Schmidt has it right at that Minutemen logo. Three up from Malgapo from well outside. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound, Morris. Second chance is good for GCIT. Rodea driving inside. Now out Conrad. He drives inside. Goes up and around. Gets everything but the shot to drop. But he'll have some chances at the charity stripe.
And as Washington Township goes to the line, 13-8, should remind you this broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. Visit 7 days a week at 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. Would like to also mention our next broadcast after today will be on Friday. I should mention, GCIT fans, specifically I will be on the air for the doubleheader at the Rowan College of South Jersey campus on Thursday, 5 o'clock for the girls' game, 7 o'clock for the boys. That game will be on the GCIT TV network, but I will be on play-by-play for both games. Hope to see you all there at RCSJ, my home college, and we'll talk about them in a little bit as well as Washington Township hits both.
So Conrad 2 for 2 on that trip to the line. Now again, just a one-possession game for the Minutemen. Morris driving inside. Nice job there by Ethan Morris. Faked the handoff to Malgapo and converted inside for two. Conrad driving inside with a full head of steam. That layup is good there for Javon Conrad.
See, this is what I was talking about. Washington Township is not too far removed from being tied and taking the lead. You know, it's just that both teams really had big scoring lulls in the first quarter.
Shot missed outside there from Malgapo. We have whistles. And a player shaken up for Washington Township. Looks like a quick substitution being made. Keegan Smith, one of the starters here tonight for Washington Township, comes back into the contest. And action resumes. Smith, who just checked in, finds Rodea. Forniceto driving inside baseline. Nice pass. Shot doesn't go there for Vecchiarelli. Malgapo driving inside. Floater off the backboard does not go. Offensive rebound, whistles, but a travel there on Gavin Shanline.
One of the things that I've noticed so far, obviously we're only halfway through the second quarter, but there were only 3 or 4 combined team fouls in the first quarter. This has been a boys have at it kind of game.
Offensive rebound there, doesn't go. So Smith had a chance to make it just a 1-point game. As it remains, though, 15-12 your score as we're about halfway through this quarter. Shot and the foul as Ian Malgapo took some contact, and he'll be going back to the line for the chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
His second team's first. At the line for GCIT, number 3, and Malgapo shooting 1.
So Smith's second foul, and the free throw is up and good there for Malgapo. Rodea now back to Conrad. Conrad with a pump fake, drives inside. Nice pump fake there from Javon Conrad. We've got whistles and a timeout on the floor. 18-14. Washington Township wants to talk things over. We'll be right back after this.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the service.
So we're back just about in the middle of this second quarter. Just under 4 minutes, 18-14 your score. GCIT leads. And they have possession here. Here's Schmidt backing down his defender. Malgapo in the corner, well short. And the Washington Township student section is letting him hear it. Smith almost turns it over. Here's Conrad. Top of the key, Vecchiarelli. It's good. So Vecchiarelli makes it now just a 1-point game. Washington Township finally within very close striking distance. Morris finds Malgapo. Malgapo thought about it, now back to Morris, guarded by Rodea. Morris back to Malgapo in the corner. He fires up a three. That one doesn't go. Vecchiarelli with the rebound, whistles and a foul. Looks like that one's going to go on Shane Line. So with those two personals, Shane Lean heading out, Suarez coming back in, and Dan, he was having a pretty solid first quarter until the coaching staff of McNeil Rice and company took him out.
And sometimes that's just a necessary thing. When you get in foul trouble, you only get 5 fouls in high school, and there's another one right there. You know, I see a lot of coaches, they pull the plug at 2, and then they give you like a quarter break. And if you get a couple more fouls, if you're even on the risk of fouling out, you might as well just be on the bench for the rest of the night, unless they really want to take that risk, which sometimes there are plenty of coaches out there who do not want to take those risks, especially with kids fouling out.
Whistles, and there's another offensive foul, this time on GCIT. Patrick Monahan.
And that brings GCIT to 4 fouls. They're 1 away from the bonus, which we were talking about, a very light fouling first quarter. That motif has changed very much in the second.
With 2 fouls coming almost back-to-back there on different possessions. Now almost back where we started, a 1-point game with just a little more time taken off the clock. Vecchiarelli, same spot, different result there as that one misses. Whistles, and Vecchiarelli takes a hard fall, no call. And so now Schmidt outside, trying to get some free space. Malgapo back to Schmidt. Thought about a 3. Driving inside is Schmidt, and Carl Schmidt with a nice layup there. Pagano back into the game for the Minutemen. Finds Rodea. Swings it over. Whistles, and a travel there on Andrew Vecchiarelli.
And sometimes when you see a lot of travels in a game like this, sometimes it's a sign that the team still needs to work on that discipline a little bit, because I've seen some games between 2 very good teams, and usually the defining factor is not a lot of travels. Sometimes these guys get a little bit ahead of themselves, and they try taking that extra step without a notice. These guys don't miss them.
Morris driving inside. Pass was almost taken away there. They got it out to Melgapo.
And that's the third foul for Washington Township. Both teams with a minute 36, inching closer to that bonus. And, you know, a bonus means more in a one-possession game. That can really switch, you know, how a coach thinks about that last minute. You know, we talk about in football a 2-minute drill. Well, these guys have 1-minute drills. They think about, you know, how they're able to possess the ball for the most amount of time in the final minute. And when you counter in the when you factor in the bonus fouls there, that's always a difficult pill to swallow if you're a team that's at the losing end of it.
So Monaghan outside, finding Melgapo, thought about a three, decides not to take it. Suarez whistles on another travel there on Milan Suarez. So a lot of turnovers, whether forced or unforced, here in this second quarter. A few offensive fouls, a couple travels. And ultimately, if you're a basketball purist, some might just call it sloppy. And there's a miscommunication on defense there. So the layup is good. And now just a 1-point game. Washington Township, the home team, within striking distance. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Over in the corner is Morris. Pass down low, and Monaghan is there. Good find from Ethan Morris. And a good finish there by Patrick Monaghan. Sansbury with a pass down low. Over the corner is Pagano. Pagano, his triple doesn't go. Gets his own rebound. Shots up and good for Justin Pagano. Both teams trading baskets back and forth. 15 seconds remaining. We'll have to see if GCIT holds for the last shot. Whistles, foul on the floor.
Fouls are good by 4. Justin Sansbury is first. Team's 4.
So it'll be Ethan Morris to inbound here for the Cheetahs. 11.1 seconds remaining. Morris looking, finds Schmidt. Schmidt, pull-up jumper, front iron. Offensive rebound there by Suarez. Can't get the layup to go, and now just 1 second remaining. Conrad at the buzzer, it's good! Javon Conrad at the buzzer for Washington Township, and that gives them a 2-point lead going into the half. A team that was held at 4 points in the first quarter, now with a 24-22 lead at the half.
Wow.
What a shot there.
I don't.
Javon Conrad.
That's crazy. I mean, you know, we saw that with we saw that. I can't remember his name. I think it was Shane Kingsmuir last year with Del Ran. Saw him hit a nice one. As we go to the break, let's take a look at this DWB replay brought to you by Harper Driving School.
Schmidt, pull-up jumper, front iron. Offensive rebound there by Suarez. Can't get the layup to go, and now just 1 second remaining. Conrad at the buzzer, it's good! Javon Conrad at
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor. Donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop, and it's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0, and here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game, a 3-run inside the Parker to the 2.
1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0.
BB and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2.
Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th annual. They are back on top for the first.
All right, welcome back here from Washington Township. What a half that was. I mean, Washington Township seemed like they were up to the slowest start in a long time, and then they rebound, taking the lead at the half with that buzzer beater from Kevon Conrad.
I mean, what a crazy shot there from Conrad. They get the offensive rebound, they get possession back, and he pulls up from around the volleyball line or the Minutemen logo on the court to knock that one down from range. Just a great shot with little time left on the clock.
It's a great thing, and considering how defensive-minded this game has been, I think it's going to be important for these teams to focus on that. Yeah, you want to get as many points as you can on the board in, but this isn't going to be a game where you're going to score 60 points in a game. This is probably going to end like 50-40, something like that. So, excuse me, I wouldn't be too surprised if the mentality stays the same going into the third and fourth.
I mean, at the end of the first, it was 9-4. Both teams were held under double digits, and then we saw a bit of sloppy play from both sides with some turnovers, some travels, a couple offensive fouls in the middle of that second quarter, but obviously anybody's going to remember that buzzer beater to end the second from Kevon Conrad.
You're absolutely right. Speaking of buzzers, the buzzer just sounded up here, so we will turn our attention back to the floor, and Jake Clark, you take the lead here as it's 24-22, Washington Township over GCIT.
So the third quarter just about ready to get underway. Malgapo will inbound to Morris. And now GCIT switching sides. They'll have to score right in front of the Washington Township student section as there's whistles and a charge there on Malgapo.
They'll have to score right in front of us, too.
So a quick offensive foul there for the Cheetahs. And now here's Conrad, the man of the hour, after that buzzer beater to give Washington Township the lead. Pass inside and converted down to the low block. Good pass there from Jasir Sansbury.
That was a great pass. I mean, just moving it inside, getting through the size that GCIT has, that was just some great movement right there, and so was that.
And a quick run there by Washington Township, and now GCIT wants to talk it over. 28-22, the Minutemen lead.
Yeah, and I mean, look, this is a kind of a wake-up call for GCIT right now. They were leading big at the end of the first quarter, and they were leading all the way until the buzzer at halftime. So right now what GCIT's got to work on, they just have to work on being disciplined, because right now they're turning the ball over too much. It was originally the Minutemen that were turning the ball over too much. Now it's a different story. Now GCIT's on the other end of it, and they've got to pick up the pace on the offensive side.
Well, in Washington Township, Dan, they came into the half with a lot of momentum after that shot, taking the lead and scoring 20 points in that quarter. And now they're coming out of the halftime break with momentum as well, and GCIT really has to try and catch up. And we talked about the two different styles of play, where GCIT is trying to take things slow, and then Washington Township is trying to pick up the pace. And right now, the fast-paced play is really helping Washington Township create a bit of a lead here.
Standing right over the mid-court line there.
Shot up and good there for Malgapo. So after committing a foul with the charge, he's back in the scoring column in this second half. Sansbury lays that one up and in. And so again, that fast-paced play of the Minutemen, really just tough for GCIT to keep up with coming out of the halftime break. Suarez outside, over to Morris. Morris being guarded by Sansbury, who just scored on the last possession. That one was tipped by Fornicero. And so now an inbound right in front of us here. Sansbury helping Morris out, getting to the spot, and Morris will inbound. Looking. And now GCIT, again, that slow-paced half-court offense they're running. But right now it has them trailing by 6. Suarez looking, finds Schmidt. Schmidt guarded by Fornicero. Back to Morris. Morris thought about pulling up with a jump shot, but passes it out. Malgapo with it, being guarded very tightly by Conrad. Malgapo with some space, pump fake, now a 3, doesn't go, and the Minutemen are out running the break yet again. Piguero out of Fornicetto. Doesn't go. Whistles. DeNoble took a tumble. We saw DeNoble go out earlier in this game. Glad he's back on the court.
This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite E of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right down the road here from Washington Township on Lambs Road.
Conrad with the steal and an easy layup. So some great defense leads to easy offense there for Javon Conrad. The Minutemen going on a good run to begin this second half. And there's Whistles. That one will go, looks like it'll go on DeNoble.
I mean, it feels like the tides have completely changed here in the third quarter. GCIT was ahead. They seemed like they had everything going for them. Now the pace is changing a little bit, and now Washington Township is the one that's putting them into a corner.
It started, Dan, as a game where it seemed like the slower pace was what Washington Township had to try and play as, and when they were both playing in their half-court sets, GCIT had the advantage. But now that this game has gone fast, Washington Township with a clear advantage as they force another miss there. Sansbury picking up the pace. That one was tipped, still in the hands of Sansbury. He drives inside, and a strong layup is off the mark. Now Malgapo going behind the back, taken away by Sansbury. He finds Conrad, and Conrad with an easy layup. Another defensive steal there for the Minutemen leads to a basket. A 10-point Washington Township lead. Good ball movement there, but the layup is off the mark, and GCIT is having a tough time taking the lid off at the beginning of the second half. Whistles. And an offensive foul. So that slows the momentum of the Minutemen for now. The officials switching sides. I was going
to say, I thought they were going to talk it over, and he's beckoning that way, and he realized they're going to switch sides.
So now Ethan Morris finds Malgapo. Malgapo driving inside, whistles, and a charge there on Malgapo. He can't believe it. That's his second foul of the quarter. Also the second foul for GCIT.
And this game is starting to turn into a foul fest pretty fast. I think that, 5 team fouls in the first 3 minutes and a half, seeming to be a little bit of undisciplined basketball here so far.
And Malgapo, who seemed to be a bright spot offensively for GCIT, has to get checked out with 2 fouls in this quarter alone. Layup is good there for Pietro Fornicero.
And you were talking about Malgapo. That's his 4th personal foul. He is 1 away from being fouled out here, still midway in the third quarter. So McNeil, Rice, and crew, no doubt they're being careful.
Schmidt with the 3. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Suarez. He passes this one inside. And the layup does not go. However, that one last touched by Conrad. GCIT really struggling to score here in this third quarter, Dan.
I mean, yeah, they've only scored 2 points in this quarter, and, it almost feels like deja vu to what Washington Township had in the first, just these scoring woes where they can get to the basket, they can find open looks, but they just cannot finish when it matters.
Morris at the free throw line, outside to Schmidt. Schmidt driving inside. Layup is good, but no basket as a charge there on Carl Schmidt. So another offensive foul. McNeil Rice very unhappy. Whistles and a full timeout called by GCIT. So McNeil Rice unhappy with the charge and wants to talk things over with his team. 36-24 in this third quarter. We'll be right back after this.
And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play. The force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play.
Welcome back to Washington Township. It's 36-24 in favor of the Minutemen. This broadcast is brought to you by the Rowan College of South Jersey Athletics Department. John Bird was with us at one point earlier tonight as the RCSJ Roadrunners winners on the hardwood and also in the classroom. Prospective athletes who wish to join myself, an RCSJ student, and the Roadrunners should fill out a prospective athlete form on rcroadrunners.com, along with following them on social media at RC Roadrunners on all platforms.
So now we're back in action here in Washington Township in the 9-10 gym. Pass to Rodea, now Pagano in the corner. The Minutemen are really moving the ball here. GCIT amping their pressure up defensively, making some adjustments out of that timeout. Fornicero for three, doesn't go. Whistles, and that was last touched by Rodea. .254 remaining here in this third quarter. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark, joined by the man himself, Dan Wilkins.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Now Morris swings it out, and a miscue there goes through the hands of Ahmad Troy Coffey. So it'll be Javon Conrad to inbound. And the Minutemen have turned things around, only scoring 4 points in that first quarter. Now with a healthy advantage here. But that one's taken away. Now running is Morris, but that one was tipped. We've got whistles. No foul, just goes out of bounds. It was last touched by Pagano. Or they do have a foul. So some confusion between the officials. So they announced the foul, now no foul. Morris was trying to say he was in the shooting motion. The officials disagree. Nevertheless, we get back to the action on the hardwood. So Morris has it, looking. Nice pass inside. Schmidt outside, pull-up jumper is short from Carl Schmidt. Rebound there by Suarez, and he's fouled, so he'll go to the line.
And that will put Washington Township over the bonus.
So Milan Suarez at the line. Hasn't been the most accurate free throw shooter to this point in the season. 1 for 10, 10%. Make it 1 for 11 now. You look at Suarez, Dan, that seems to be the area statistically he needs to improve upon in. Comes into the game averaging 4.1 points per game, 4.9 rebounds. Had a season-high 11 rebounds last game versus Williamstown. So the talent is there for the young freshman. He knocks down the second. 1 for 2 at the charity stripe goes Suarez. Now outside, pass into Rodea. Doesn't go. Rebound there for GCIT. Here's Schmidt. Schmidt driving inside, spins, jump shot is off the mark. So Pagano will orchestrate the offense here for the Minutemen. Finds Rodea over on the left corner. Quick ball movement here for Washington Township. Whistles and a foul.
Foul number 13, Patrick Monahan, his third, team's fourth. At the line for the Minutemen, number 21, Drew Vecchiarelli, shooting 2.
So now Patrick Monahan, the senior, in a little bit of foul trouble, his third. First free throw does not go for Vecchiarelli. Second free throw is also no good, so an 0 for 2 trip there from Vecchiarelli. High IQ there, play there from Ahmad Troy Coffey. (36-25). Pass inside. Here's Suarez now. Suarez with a fade, leaves it just short. And now the Minutemen moving up tempo as they have all game. Shot in the corner, does not go. Rebound Schmidt. Schmidt with a cross-court pass to Morris. He's doubled. Now in the corner, back to Morris. Morris thought about a shot up top to Suarez, and Suarez taller than everybody else on the court. And we have a delay of game warning on Suarez, who sent the ball into the stands, assuming the ref would be right there to catch it. So the first delay of game warning against the Cheetahs.
And remember, 2 of those equates to a technical. We saw that a couple nights ago with Cherokee. I'm sorry, with Haddon Heights before the new year.
Pagano now to Conrad. Conrad from way downtown. That shot doesn't go. Rebound Suarez. GCIT thought about moving fast, now slowing things down. 15 seconds remaining in the third. Morris, pass down low to Monaghan. Schmidt outside. 5 seconds remaining. Schmidt looking for some space, whistles. We've got a blocking foul. 1.3 remaining on the clock. Matt Rodea called on the foul, his second of tonight's contest. And so now Carl Schmidt will go to the line for the Cheetahs. First one drops. Schmidt now 3 for 4 on the year, and even 75% after that make. And knocks down the second. So short time here, 1.3 seconds in the hands of Conrad. He can't do it again. And so now time runs out. Washington Township leads 36-29 through 3 quarters. We'll be right back for fourth quarter action.
And this is going to bring up
Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game.
So 8 minutes remain, 1 quarter left. Washington Township leads 36-29. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark here with Dan Wilkins. As we give you fourth quarter action between Washington Township and GCIT in a Tri-County Royal matchup.
I'm just saying, GCIT has never lost on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. They won 2 softball games back in May of 2024 versus Timber Creek and ACIT. I believe they also played a soccer game where they won. Oh, and they won a basketball game last year over Gloucester City. So, hey, I'm just saying, if statistics are your friend, don't count them out.
That undefeated record is close to being put to bed, but still a lot of basketball left to be played, whistles and a foul. So that one going on Javon Conrad.
His third, team's first.
So Morris running the offense here for the Cheetahs. They've stuck to their game plan, working time in and time out through their half-court sets. Morris outside with a pump fake. Keeps it himself. Pass down low, intended for Suarez. That one was broken up.
And GCIT only got held to 7 points in the third quarter, just like Washington Township got held to 4 in the first. So a bit of a taste of your own medicine kind of situation.
Shot up from Monaghan is no good, and now the Minutemen back on the break. Here's Conrad. Fires a pass. That one tipped. Was intended for DeNoble, but Township will keep possession as that one was broken up. Pagano to inbound. Over to Conrad in the corner. He has space. Whistles. And a foul away from the ball. Foul is on Luke McCray, the 6'4 junior.
Thing about Todd Powers, he's a second-year head coach here at Washington Township, and of course he spent a long time at Gloucester Catholic before taking over the position here with the Minutemen. And you know, it's important when you're playing with 2 schools of 2 very different sizes are the philosophies that go into that. Sometimes you might only have 8 guys to play with. Meanwhile, in a Group 4 school like Washington Township, with how big they are, you might have 12 or 13 to play with. So when some of these guys get into foul trouble, it might actually be beneficial to you, the fact that, you know, Powers is now here coaching at a Group 4 in football, Group 5 school.
Ball was last touched by Washington Township, and a miscommunication there. Back into the game is Ian Malgapo, who's been an offensive bright spot for the Cheetahs, but he's in some foul trouble. Had 2 fouls alone in the third quarter, 4 overall. Here's Morris outside to Suarez. Suarez spinning, whistles, and another travel there on Milan Suarez. That's at least his 3rd travel of the game. It's some growing pains for the freshman in his early varsity career.
And that's just the kind of thing that happens sometimes. You know, we talk about rookie mistakes. Well, it's a freshman mistake in this instance, and very, very rarely as a high school coach do you get players that are completely, you know, perfected and cleaned up in their freshman year, because they got to go with a new coach, they got to go with new philosophies and new expectations at the high school level.
So that one taken away, ends up in the hands of Suarez. Suarez leads Morris too far, and Morris thought he could bounce it off McCray, but McCray with some good hands, and now The Minutemen are on the break. Conrad for three. It's good. Javon Conrad with a triple in the corner extends the lead to 10.
I was going to say that pass reminded me a little bit of Andrew Valet of GCIT, something that we might see coming baseball season with the Cheetahs. That was a hard pass and just had a little bit too much on it. Wasn't able to get it done.
Suarez, another walk there for Suarez, showing signs of frustration. But another travel there for Suarez. And some of these self-inflicted wounds for GCIT are coming back to bite them, along with the fact that they had a tough time scoring in that third quarter. Another three for Conrad is good. Same spot, same result for Javon Conrad. Now makes it a 42-29 game. We've got whistles and a timeout for GCIT with 5:09 on the clock.
Welcome back to Washington Township. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or DAWG, Dog Wrestling, the top semi-pro wrestling organization in the state of New Jersey with nonstop high-flying action and star-studded events throughout the Garden State. For more information on future events and ticketing, go to their website at dawgprowrestling.com. That's again, dawgprowrestling.com.
So back in action with 5 minutes and some change remaining in this game. GCIT trails. This one coming right at us over here.
What did that hit, the battery?
Battery saves me from getting that pass deflected in my face.
Who needs a bodyguard? You got a nice little hunk of steel there.
So the equipment protects the commentators there as we get back to the action on the floor. Morris in the corner. Dribbles, now finds Schmidt. Schmidt, cross-court pass to Suarez. Suarez backing down McCray. Fade away is no good. Whistles and a foul there on Morris to just stop the break.
I was going to say, Jake, I would rather protect the equipment than the commentators because I can heal faster. A battery can't heal. That thing's not cheap.
Just deflected. Dan, even though I wanted to, I don't think my reflexes move fast enough for me to stop that ball, especially with us being so close to the court here. We have great seats in the 9-10 gym here at Washington Township.
That's why you were an outfielder, not a first baseman.
That's correct, yes. So Conrad is able to poke that one away. Thought about heaving one down court, but the Minutemen, for what feels like maybe very rarely in this game, slow it down. Pagano whistles on a travel there. So now, just about 4 minutes remain. Things are not looking great for GCIT. They trail 42-29 in a game that was 9-4 at the end of the first. Whistles and a foul. So McCray's second foul will have him checked out. Vecchiarelli back into the game for the Minutemen.
And that's already the third team foul on Washington Township. Even with this lead, ought to be careful here.
Malgapo driving inside. Whistle, shot, and the basket. So count the basket there for Ian Malgapo. He'll have a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Foul on number 3, G-Von Conrad, his fourth. Team score. At the line for the Cheetahs, number 3, and Malgapo, shooting 1.
Malgapo having a pretty successful season this year already, 91 points on the year, 13 points per game entering today. And his 61% free throw percentage gets a boost after that make. Sansbury driving inside, crafty handle, but doesn't go. And now the Cheetahs running the break, 2-on-1. Malgapo to Morris. Morris with the shot, blocking foul, so it'll count. And a little bit of life out of GCIT here late into this one.
And those back-to-back fouls, that puts Washington Township over the bonus, still with 3:34 left to play. This is a precarious spot for the Minutemen. You lead by 8, but if he makes this foul shot here, it's 7. And you don't know, GCIT, we saw this last year in their first ever DWB appearance versus Gloucester. They trailed by 16 at the half, came back to win on a Mark Hallman double guarded three-point shot. I don't count out GCIT in the slightest here.
So Washington Township been aggressive all game, but now maybe have to keep that aggression in check, as we mentioned, over the limit. So you see the Minutemen slowing things down now. Rodea outside finds Sansbury. Sansbury tightly guarded by Malgapo. He's still playing aggressively with 4 fouls. Conrad driving inside, shots good. And one opportunity here for G-Von Conrad. The star of today, G-Von Conrad, with that buzzer beater and played well to this point. Has a chance for one more.
By the way, folks, our next broadcast is on Friday in the Burlington County League between the South Jersey Group 1 sectional runner-ups from last year, the Kip Cooper Norcross Titans, and the Holy Cross Lancers. That's a 7 o'clock start on Friday. And along with that, on Saturday, we do have all-star hockey at Belmar with the 3 divisions going from youngest to oldest. That will start at noon on Saturday, the 11th, from the Belmar hockey rinks, the ball hockey rinks outside. Should be a fun one.
So now a 10-point game. Here is Morris. GCIT is going to need to go on a bit of a run here, but that one taken away by Sansbury. Sansbury running and lays that one in with ease. And Dan, we've seen that story a couple times. Good defense from Washington Township leads to easy offense on the other end.
And this is kind of the story that we've seen from this game, is that GCIT, when they are on a run, they're great, but when they're not, they really have struggled on offense.
Schmidt is there for some second chance points. Now Washington Township, a team that's gotten out to run all game, is finally slowing things down. Rodea from the corner, it's good. Matt Rodea, the senior, knocking down the 3 from the right corner. Shanline down low. That one hits the top of the basket.
Hit one of the wires up there, which was why the clock was stopped. Some people don't. Some people get it confused sometimes. It can hit the top of the backboard and still be in play, but if it hits any of the wires or the scaffolding above the rim, and above the backboard, then it's a dead ball out of play.
Cut inside. That pass was intended for Smith, taken away. Morris racing up the court, finds Malgapo. Malgapo's layup is no good.
That's a tough pill to swallow right there in the final 2 minutes. You need the points, even if they seem like easy points. You have to get every basket you can in this critical time.
Every possession counts now for GCIT as time is dwindling in this game. Malgapo, another layup. This time he converts. Washington Township taking their time as they have a healthy lead here with a minute and some change remaining. Conrad, the star of the show, kicks to Rodea in the corner. Rodea, another triple from the opposite corner. This time Rodea cans it from the left.
One minute now.
So here's Malgapo. Shot is up. That one, nothing but air from Ian Malgapo. And as we mentioned, GCIT was put in a tough spot today without their leading scorer, Michael Stanwood, who is out presumably due to injury on the sidelines wearing street clothes today. So here's Rodea outside to Smith, Washington Township. Moving the ball around Sandsbury. Layup is good. Fights through some contact, and he'll have a chance at the free throw line to add one more.
And you think that might be the, kind of the nail in the coffin there for GCIT. I mean, they've played very well tonight, but obviously Washington Township goes on this big run in the fourth quarter. A little bit too much to overcome here for the Cheetahs.
So Sandsbury at the line, comes into this game averaging an even 9 points. And we've seen him with a couple of steals here today. A lot of Washington Township players getting into the steal category, but now time is dwindling as there's Shanline with the basket. Pagano takes it up the court, nice spin move. Sends it over to Sandsbury. 10 seconds remaining. And that looks like it's going to do it. Sandsbury dribbling this one out, and the clock has now struck zeros as Washington Township gets their third win of the year by a score of 56-41. That'll drop GCIT to 5-3. And this one, Washington Township's first win in conference, their first win in the Tri-County Royal, and now GCIT with a below 500 record in conference 1-2.
Well, like I said, GCIT played a good game, but obviously with them, they played good considering the fact that they were without their leading scorer in Mike Stanwood. And considering this was a battle test for Washington Township. This was a game where they hadn't played a whole lot in the division. GCIT and Washington Township kind of play off of each other in this Tri-County Royal Division, which, remember, makes up of these two, Clearview, Kingsway, which is 6-1 right now, and Williamstown, who only won 2 games last season. So what's important for Washington Township here is after that rough streak that they had to start the season, to piggyback off of that and now find a way to get themselves into the groove that they wanted. GCIT hasn't had an above 500 season in 5 years, but they've come very close. They were 13-14 last year after 3 years ago only going 9-19. So for GCIT to play this well without their leading scorer really is a good thing, and I think McNeil Rice can take some positives out of today's game. But what I think that GCIT is going to have to work on is those turnovers. They felt like they just couldn't stop turning the ball over, whether it was just miscommunications or whether it was travels, fouls. They got into, I say they got into foul trouble, but they got the bonus twice in the third and fourth quarter relatively early as well. So for GCIT to come out of this game now at 5-3, they've got some battle tests ahead of them. But, Jake, going into this one, I honestly didn't know where this was going to go. Washington Township was on a cold streak. GCIT was on a hot streak. They converge, and then the opposite result emerges.
Yeah, absolutely. And, losing 4 in your last 5, playing an in-conference opponent, definitely good to get a win for Washington Township here today, especially, and I think the big thing that really kind of flew under the radar, but we mentioned it a couple times, was the 2 different styles of play that these teams had, and Washington Township really, their fast-paced offense where they played good defense and ended up with easy offense on the other end was really the factor that I think played out the most. We saw, as you mentioned, the turnovers, but Washington Township was forcing a couple turnovers and allowed for them to get out and run on fast breaks. They had numbers, and they were able to convert with easy looks at the rim.
Well, guess what? We're going to see, or at least I'm going to see GCIT on Thursday because I'm going to be on play-by-play for GCIT TV in their doubleheader versus Deptford. That will be technically my next on-air appearance, but it really should be a fun one. The next couple of games for both teams, GCIT playing Deptford on Thursday. They are away at Florence on the 11th. Then they have 2 straight home games versus Kingsway and Salem Tech in Tri-County play. And then for Washington Township improving to 3-4. Like we said, they won over Delsea to open the season. Then they lost to a very strong Kingsway team. They lost to Haddon Heights by 10, and then they lost to Seneca by 6 in the Cinnamons Holiday Showcase. They came back with another Holiday Showcase win over Hamilton, and then lost by 20 to Cherokee. For them, they are also on their home floor on Thursday and Saturday versus Timber Creek and Gloucester Catholic, which will be a second annual homecoming game for Todd Powers, the former head coach at Gloucester Catholic. So, Jake, very, very much thank you for joining me tonight and taking the reins, if you will, as we're both on our collegiate winter breaks. But a good game overall, and for Washington Township, this is a statement win that they can take going into a very tough Tri-County opponent in Timber Creek and a sentimental opponent in Gloucester Catholic on Saturday.
Yeah, and I think if they just keep continuing to play this brand of basketball, they'll find success. I mean, the way that they were able to play defense today, Dan, was fantastic. They really eliminated anything. And, I mean, when we talk about it, we talked about 4 points for Washington Township in that first quarter, but they held GCIT to 9. And for a while, GCIT was at 29. They were floating around. They had only scored 20 points going into the fourth quarter, I believe. So definitely good defense from Washington Township today, which led to easy offense, and the turnovers from GCIT were just an extra boost for that Washington Township offense. And if they can continue to force turnovers and get good looks on the offensive end, you'll see Washington Township make some noise in the Tri-County.
Absolutely. That'll be all for us tonight here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We are going to be on the air next from Delran on Friday between the Kip Cooper Titans and the Holy Cross Lancers. That's I think it's a 5:30 p.m. start. I'll have to check on that. But then we're going to be on the air for All-Star Hockey on Saturday, January 11th, and then again on the Roadrunner Network on January 14th between the Ocean County Vikings and the RCSJ Roadrunners. From our entire crew, our social media coordinators, Brandon the Kegerland and Brandon the Kegerland and Anthony DePalma, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan. I guess you could say I'm the producer tonight, Dan Wilkins. My play-by-play commentator to my left, Jake Clark. I am Dan Wilkins. We will see you on Friday in Burlington County for more over 500 basketball between Kip Cooper and Holy Cross. Have a good one, folks, and stay warm.